Welcome to my May TBR. I just wanted to hop on here. I know it's been quite a few months since I have filmed anything. I have been deep into work and just the kind of like seasonal depression. So I just have not really been feeling like filming anything. But I have read so much. I think I'm at like 82 books, maybe 85 books already this year. So sometime soon I'll be filming an update on the books that I've read. But I just wanted to let you know what I plan on reading this May and let you know some of the things that are coming up on my channel. So I do have a reading vlog that I'm working on of rereading Jane Austen books, which I'll talk about a little later in this video, and I am still working on editing the mystery one where I try to solve the Hanjin murders. I have finished that book back in like either December or January, but I just have not been able to like edit it all and get it all out. So hopefully that'll be out soon. And I also just plan on being on here more and updating more. But let's get into what I'm reading in May. So to start, the poetry book that I'm planning on reading this month is No Matter the Wreckage by Sarah Kay. I have read this collection before, and I went through and tabbed the poems I particularly enjoyed. But I think that poetry is one of those things that's very much meant to be read and reread and reread, and so I wanted to come back to this one this month, partially because it's very reflective and also has a lot of imagery of the ocean and things like that. So headed into summer, seemed like it'd be a good time to jump into this collection. Also last month I had read one of Ada Limon's books that I hadn't read before, and so it'll be nice to go back and revisit a poetry collection that I have read. For my Ring Around the World challenge this month, I am going to be reading Lines on the Water, and this is a memoir from David Adams Richards, and it takes place in Canada, and it takes place in New Brunswick, and New Brunswick and I think Manitoba maybe are the only two provinces slash territories that I haven't read from yet, and so I want to finish off Canada by the end of June, and so I'm reading this month, and next month I'm going to be reading this book. I just need to get a hold of a copy of it, which is a short story collection. But so this book has to do with fly fishing, which is not really my thing, but I did have my dad read this book already, and so I'll be able to talk with him about it. He's an avid fly fisherman, and so it'll be a good book to at least talk about the culture around that. But so far, it's May 3rd today, and I am about 16 pages into it. With books like this that I'm not super sure, they're not really like my genre or things like that, I just take them a little bit at a time and then wait till I get like really into it to just continue to read it. So I set myself a page goal for each day, and then if I find myself super interested, I'll just keep reading. The last two non-fiction books I'm reading this month, or want to read this month, are In Defense of Witches by Mona Chollet, and translated by Sophie R. Lewis. And this is a book about our fascination with witches and how witches are portrayed in culture, but actually the history of witches and the patriarchy and all of that. So it says, centuries after the infamous witch hunts that swept through Europe and America, witches continue to hold a unique fascination for many as fairy tale villains, practitioners of pagan religion, as well as feminist icons. Witches are both the ultimate victim and the stubborn, elusive rebel. But who were the women who were accused and often killed for witchcraft? And it has more stuff, but that's the basic point of the book, so I'm excited to dive into this one. And then I've been reading this book since January, and I probably won't finish it this month either. I wanted so badly to enjoy this book, but Warrior Queens and Quiet Revolutionaries by Kate Moss is essentially like an encyclopedia of historical female figures that you've maybe not heard of, all with like a little memoir of her great grandmother Lily, and this book is just so boring. I don't know how you can make a topic that is so interesting be so boring. All it's done so far is made me just want to know about all these women. So like all these little tabs here are each a different woman. Some of them multiple women because they'll be listed all in one line. And I just want to know more about these women, and I care less about her great-grandmother, and I just want it to be something it isn't. So right now my goal is to read 2 pages a day and hopefully finish it by the end of June. But we'll see. I really don't want to DNF it because I want it to be so good. It's divided up into like women who write, fought, women who like made social change, different things like that. So scientists, I think, is the category that I'm headed into next. But it's just one of those things where it has a lot of potential, but it's just not living up to it. For mystery for this month, I have 2 books that I'm wanting to read. The first one being The Mill House Murders. This is the second book after the Decagon House Murders, which I read back in March and really enjoyed. This one says, ever since a horrific car accident, Fujinuma Kichi has lived a reclusive existence at the remote mill house, his scarred face hidden behind a rubber mask. Then one stormy night, the tranquility of his retreat is shattered by gruesome murder, a baffling disappearance, and the theft of a priceless painting. The brilliant Shimada Kiyoshi arrives on the scene, but as he investigates the seemingly impossible events of the evening, death strikes again and again. Can Shimada get to the truth before the killer gets to him, and can you solve the mystery of the Millhouse murders before he does? I'm trying to decide if I want to do this one like the Hanjin murders, where I try to figure it out and make my guess beforehand. But I still haven't finished editing that video and I haven't gotten out yet, so I'm not sure whether that's good or not, because I haven't seen how successfully the other one went or didn't go. So we'll see, but I'm going to read it regardless. And the other one is The Benevolent Society of Ill-Mannered Ladies. In this book I started last month, but just didn't get a chance to finish it. And this follows 2 sisters who are taken or requested from different people in their community to kind of handle delicate situations like blackmail and things like that. And they're kind of a sister detective team, but who is doing this kind of secretly without society knowing that they're doing those things. So I'm excited to read this. For romance, I have 3 books, even though I already read 2 of them, which is kind of a long story. So first of all, I immediately went out and bought Emily Henry's Funny Story because I absolutely loved Happy Place and I wanted to get this. I do want to collect them in paperback, so I was planning on getting this for my mom for Mother's Day anyway. So I bought it and read it, and I read it in just like essentially 2 days. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked the dynamics between the 2 main characters. I liked that it wasn't just a romance story, but had a bunch of other things that were going on in it. A lot of character development, just an overall great book. All right, my gimbal died, so I'm just going to prop you up here for right now. But I finished that and then immediately went out and bought Beach Read, because Beach Read is the only of her books that I haven't read, and so many people are like, this is the one you have to start with, you should immediately read Beach Read, so I need to go back and read this one. And then I remembered that I had never finished Book Lovers. I kind of rage DNF'd that one. I was listening to the audiobook. I had it on Audible. I listened to like 8.5 of the 11.5 hours, and I just could not stand the book. Just could not do it. And I get that it was her playing around with all the different romance tropes and kind of having it be like a Hallmark movie and all those things, but I just absolutely did not like it. And so after I finished Funny Story, I, like I said, bought Beach Read and immediately listened to the last 3 hours of Book Lovers. And I definitely was being a little harsh. It's not a 5-star read for me, more like a 3-star read. But I definitely was too harsh. I really didn't like the sister dynamic in the story, and I didn't feel like the main characters were having any kind of new conversations. I felt like they were just rehashing the same like 2 conversations over and over again. But I finished it. Like I said, 3-star read. And now I'm hoping Beach Read will at least be a 4-star read for me. I think People We Meet on Vacation was like 3.5 or 4 stars. I'd have to go back and look. But I enjoy People We Meet on Vacation. For a vlog that I'm working on, I'm going to be reading Sense and Sensibility this month. I took a Jane Austen and her contemporaries class when I was in college, and I would tell people that Jane Austen is one of my favorite classic writers of all time, with Northanger Abbey being my favorite, Sense and Sensibility being my second favorite, then probably Pride and Prejudice, and then Emma, and then Persuasion, and then Mansfield Park. But if I go on Goodreads and I look at how I rated these books, it would tell you otherwise. But my thought is that because I was so entrenched in over analyzing the books and not just reading them for fun, that I was very harsh in my critique, giving most of them 2 stars, and that's not how I actually feel about it. So I'm doing a vlog where I reread them and give you my thoughts as I go. And yeah, the only one I've reread since the class is Northanger Abbey because I taught it for a while. That one, 5-star read for me. Absolutely love it. Never disliked it. But the other ones I need to revisit and see what I would give them now. And just, yeah, hopefully it'll just be a fun read-along vlog that you guys will enjoy. And then for the largest category of books to read this month is my manga. I've been really enjoying reading manga, and I'm gonna have to do a new manga update here at some point. But the books that I want to read this month are Komi Can't Communicate 29, which, like I said, today is actually May 3rd, and I have already read this one. Thoroughly enjoyed it. We're having more complications thrown her and Tadano's way. The friendship thing is still going strong. I think we're at, I don't know, 75 or 85 friends, something like that. I need to go back and look. But the friendships are coming along. She's almost at 100. Her and Tadano are going strong, but there's some things that are thrown in their way. And the other one that I already read this month is My Love Mix-Up number 4. And so we have Akoi and Ida, and they are currently dating, and they are very unsure about their relationship because Akoi knows that he likes Ida, but Ida doesn't really know how he feels about Akoi. Just like never really saw himself being in a relationship with anyone to begin with, and so he's unsure of how he feels of Akoi, and this is just kind of the dynamics. Again, always having over-the-top rom-com type of things happening here, where friends are acting in a certain way or different things are happening, and it's just, yeah, it's over-the-top chaotic, but that's what makes it fun. I have 2 where I just haven't read the most current issue, and that's Insomniacs After School and Oshinoko, and these are both volume 5. This series is so cute. We get to follow our 2 main characters as they have their astronomy club, and they're trying to get their astronomy club to be funded, and they just both have trouble sleeping, and they get into all sorts of cute little meet cute sort of things out at night when they're out by themselves, taking pictures of the sky. It's just really sweet and really wholesome. And then Oshinoko, we are deeply enthralled or entrenched in the idol and acting productions and consumerism and all of these like big critiques of society, and yet we're still trying to solve the mystery of who killed our main character and who killed I. So, and very excited to read these too. Oh, I also don't have it with me because it's a series that my husband is reading also, but I haven't read the latest Dandadan, and so I'll be reading that this month too, hopefully. And then the other hopefuls for this month are the second and third Your Name. I read the first Your Name in March and enjoyed it. This one is definitely a tearjerker. It's based off the movie. I believe it was a movie and then they turned it into a manga. But it's about a boy and a girl who keep like switching bodies while they're sleeping, and so they're kind of living each other's lives. And it's very good, but like I said, not very lighthearted. I'd like to read Shikamori Volume 4. This is a series that I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to continue to buy or not. I didn't particularly like Volume 1 was just okay. Volume 2 I really liked, and the Volume 3 was again just okay. So I'm hoping that this series picks up. It's following Shikamori and her boyfriend Azumi. Azumi is just like super klutzy, and she's always having to like help him out and take care of him, and yeah, she is not just a cutie. She has multiple characteristics and things about her. We're finding more and more about her, having her be less just like one-dimensional. But like I said, volumes 1 and 3 I felt like were very one-dimensional. So hopefully things step up. Otherwise, this is a series that I won't be continuing to buy. And then the last 4 are Horimiya 5 and 6 and My Love Mix-Up 5 and 6. These series are just so cute, so feel good, and I just am enjoying reading them. I know it seems like a very ambitious TBR, but most of the manga take like 1 day to read. Sometimes 3 if I am like kind of trying to pace myself. But yeah, overall, these will be very easy to get through. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what your most anticipated book is for this month, what you plan on reading. Also, let me know if you've read any of the books that I'm reading this month. I'd love to talk about them. You can always follow me on TikTok, Instagram, or Storygraph, which I do update more often. Storygraph in particular is always updated with what I'm currently reading, and I'm always up for doing a buddy read or something like that, so let me know. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you haven't, and please leave a like if you enjoyed this type of video. I'm trying to figure out what types of videos I want to have on my channel, so let me know if this is one you enjoyed.